listen to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to part 2 of What Do You Got? TV and Video Game Evolution. The last one ran a little long because we were fucking nerds.
Yeah, we got a little excited about the video game portion of this, and now we're going to talk about the evolution of TV. This was Andy's topic for What Do You Got? So I'm going to let you explain exactly what you mean by this, Andy.
Okay, so I was talking about the evolution of TV and video games, went over the video games, so the evolution of TV. We were thinking about this, and I don't think people that are less than 5 years younger than us are ever going to be able to fully appreciate the jumps in how easy it is to watch shit on TV now.
Oh, dude.
Now, I know that people that are 20 years older than us are like, huh, that's cute. Because they had like 4 channels after they turned 15. Like, you know, so, but I was thinking about how you used to watch shit back in the day. When we were kids, it was, if a movie was on TV, it was on TV. And if you didn't watch it then, you didn't get to watch it.
Yeah.
That was it.
That was it.
That was it. Because you sure as shit weren't ordering nothing online. Or because there was no online.
There was no online. There was no way to do that.
And then you used to have to look shit up. Or not look shit up. They had VHS, which were like, the quality was all shit back then. As far as graphics and pixelated and all that shit. But you had to buy or rent from Blockbuster.
And like people these days, you youngins, like you can just click on Netflix and your Hulu's and your all this and that's and everything's right there. But going to Blockbuster was an event.
Yeah.
Like it was a thing.
Yeah,
that
you used
families
to get
did.
in the car with your friends when your friend's mom or your mom or dad were driving.
Yeah.
And you used to go to Blockbuster to start your Saturday or your Friday night.
It was like going to the movies.
It was.
Because like you would get snacks and stuff too, or at least we
Because
did
you
when
could
we were
buy
kids.
or rent 2 movies or whatever, and you get like a half off or whatever.
Yeah.
But you'd go there and you'd have to decide on what one you were going to watch. And everyone had to decide on the movie.
Yeah.
And you just go up and down the aisles, and there was always that place in the back with like the beads hanging down, and you weren't allowed to go in there.
We went into one of those when we were in college.
Yeah,
That was fun.
college is fine to do that.
Well,
Did you ever rent a fucking porno from a Blockbuster?
not Blockbuster, but we went to like one of those in college. It was like a field trip. It was freshman year.
I can't imagine.
There was like 5.
Ever.
There was like 5 of us, and it wasn't the beads. It was a locked door, so we couldn't just walk in. We had
The
to press
fuck
a
do they have back there, King Kong?
porn. You had to press a button. The guy had to let you in, and then we picked out a porno and we watched it as a group. Like it was just like it was like 5 people, and like it was like a mix of people too. There was 2 girls, 2 guys, 2 normal guys.
Do you remember what
and
it
me.
was? I know that you do.
No, I don't. To be fair,
Do you remember what it was about? I know there was a good storyline.
no, there was not, sir.
No.
It was how do I put this in a way that we will not be flagged for everything? It was multiple people doing multiple things.
An orgy.
It was an orgy.
Okay. You
So-
say orgy.
We can say orgy.
Say
It was
what
an
the fuck you
orgy.
want.
So like I remember that like we did that. So there was something for everybody.
Oh, yeah, that's not something that works. Porn is not something where you order something for everybody if there's a lot of mixtures, because that's like saying, oh, you like vodka, you like whiskey, you like tequila. We're just going to put it all in the punch bowl and mix it up. It doesn't taste good.
Everyone walks away.
It doesn't
unhappy
taste
with
good
that.
like that.
It was an experience. I don't think I would ever watch porn in a group again.
No.
And I haven't in like 12 years. So,
No.
but going back to our original, what were we talking about? Blockbuster.
So Blockbuster, yeah. So that's the whole thing. But when we were kids, one of the biggest things that came out was the blue screen scroll for the TV guide.
Oh yeah,
Remember that?
I do.
That was the most watched channel in my house.
Oh yeah, that was same here. That was on constantly.
You just would leave it on. You'd basically
remember-
turn the TV to that channel when you turned it off, so that when you turned it on, you'd hope that you would catch the ones, because it would take like a minute and a half to go through
scroll
all
through.
the channels.
Do you remember how pissed you would be when you were looking for something specific and your head was turned and you would look back, you'd be like,
It's fucking
damn it.
gone. You got to wait a whole another minute.
gotta wait a whole
And you'd go back to the channel you were watching, and by the time you got back, it was right just past.
Yep.
Do you remember what channels? I remember 14, 15, 16 were HBO, Encore, and Stars.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They used to be low numbers.
31, 32, and 33 was Nickelodeon numbers, or Nickelodeon channels.
I think
27, I think, was TNT a long time ago. 37, 38, 39, and 40 was like TNT. AMC was 43. Comedy Central was 50.
You watch too much TV.
DH, I remember, because, 27, 27 was Animal Planet. Or 50-something was 55 was Animal Planet. I used to watch Steve Irwin every day. But yeah, you had to like wait for a movie to come on, and you'd catch a movie halfway through, and there'd always be those movies that you saw when you were a kid, but you never really saw the movie. You'd always catch it at the same part because that's when you got home from school, or that's when you got allowed to watch TV after you finish your homework, and you'd always catch half of it. And you remember, I remember as a kid, do you ever see the movie True Romance?
Maybe.
Remember when they used to like show, they would show like movies on TV after a certain time,
Oh, and then they get naughty.
and not naughty, but like they would allow for like different things.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching TV when I was a kid, and there's a scene in True Romance where James Gandolfini is beating the shit out of Arquette's sister,
Okay.
and she ends up taking a corkscrew and shoving it in his foot. And then she lights him on fire with a hairspray can, and then like unloads an entire rack of shotgun shells into his chest. And I was like 7, and I'm like, "What is going on here? This is awesome, but I don't think I should watch this, Dad. It's pretty bad. I just had my fish sticks and tater tots." Yeah, but then they had that blue screen, and then we had the illegal cable box.
Ooh.
We had it when it was like remember we used to make cable boxes wood panel color?
I don't remember.
Yeah, they had the wood, they had the TV box. Remember, like it was a digital.
Because everything needed to be wood.
Everything had to be wood paneling. That's how
Cars.
you knew it was money.
Yeah.
Oh, it was classy.
We can make our technology look like wood.
Yeah. So we had
Like furniture.
we had the illegal cable box with the HBO Stars and Encores, one channel per thing. And then after that, they came out with DirecTV.
And that's when shit started getting real.
And DirecTV used to have the box. And to get DirecTV in your house, you used to have a card, like a credit card with a chip on it. And you'd have to plug it in to the TV and sync it so that your DirecTV wouldn't work unless you had that chip. We had the hookup because we had people that we knew in the cable company. And they gave us the hack card. It was like the genie card.
Yeah.
And it would give you all of the pay-per-views. Now, pay-per-views and they used to call everything pay-per-view back then, like the movie rentals and shit, I think. Now, if you remember this, how it used to work on DirecTV was you had this the new guide that you could actually scroll through. Like this one, you didn't have to wait. You could actually like flip through the guide. Like you go to channel 67 and just look at channel 67, and it would stay there. You didn't have to wait till it scrolled. But there was like 900 channels at this point.
I remember that.
And they had like channels like 800 and above were all music channels. Just like whatever genre was music. And then all the DirecTV pay-per-view and movie orders was like channel 100 to like 300. And this is how it used to be. I don't know if you remember this. Now if you want to order a movie, you click order and it starts playing.
Yeah.
Back then they didn't do that. Back then when a movie came out on DirecTV or whatever, and DirecTV got the rights to play the movie, they would have like 6 channels. All of them would play that movie, but all those channels would start the movie a half hour separate than the rest because they didn't know how to like let someone start the movie, so they would play them on a constant loop on 6 different channels. So that way if the movie was 2.5 hours long, you didn't have to wait until 8:30 to watch it. You could always be a half hour at the most away from the next one starting.
Yeah.
But that meant that when you watched a movie or you ordered it, you had to be like, guys, is 6:30 good for everyone? Can we start the movie at 6:30? Everyone's got the popcorn ready and all that. And they're like, yeah. So then you had to order it because you couldn't pause it. It was just, it would start going.
I don't remember that. I do remember watching, we had the HBOs. We were spoiled. Like, we had all the HBOs. I remember we would just, like...
There was, like, 14 different channels of them. They would all play a different movie.
Yeah. I remember you would just go through all the HBOs, and you'd just be like, there's XYZ. Oh, there's Con Air. That's going to be the next 2 hours of my life.
Exactly.
The next hour and a half of my life.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter when it starts. That's going to be the movie I watch.
And what my dad did, because he's smart, but it ended up being like, you know, the evolution of how good the recordings are.
Yeah.
But we would get home from school and we would go downstairs and he'd be like, "Don't touch the TV. I'm recording a movie." He would have the VHS, the 6-hour tapes, and you could, if you remember the old VHSs, you had 3 speeds. You could either record 3 regular length movies, 6 hours. You could record 1 movie at high definition back then,
quote unquote,
on a 6-hour tape, but it would go at a speed where it would look really good for back then. Or you could get like 2 movies at like mediocre quality. Well, he didn't want to spend all the money on that, so he would just film 3 films per tape. Every day we would come home, he'd be filming, like whatever the next one was, he would just be like, "No, I'm getting it for free. It's a $15 movie. I'm recording it." And dude, up in Vermont, it was the best because we'd go up there and we had like dressers full of VHS movies, and you would go through them, and we had every fucking movie from 95 to like 2003, everything you could think of, shit that we would never watch. You just, fuck it, it's free, I'm recording it.
Yeah.
But
the FCC would like to talk to you.
Yeah, and we got all those channels. So like you would just like start whatever. But the other thing too is like all the porno channels. We got all the porno channels, and it was, you would go through them. I remember because like every time we would be downstairs, like our friends, it'd be like, "Oh, we got like Die Hard on or whatever," this, that, the other thing, and then all of a sudden it just get real quiet.
Just hear a single.
And it would be like someone sitting on the stairs, like, "You wait and you listen for parents. You listen for adults. You hear some adult coming towards the stairs, you let us know, or switch it off." But if you remember, remotes weren't that quick back then.
No.
So you always got caught. Dad didn't really give a fuck. Moms used to get pissed. Moms used to get real pissed. But it was funny because they had like, I don't know, like 10 porn channels. And they were like, I don't know what they were, like Cinemax, is that one?
Yeah, I think that's one.
And they used to, like 8 of them used to start at the same time. Like the movie would start at the same time. But they didn't just start, like, it's not like you get to jump to the good part. It would be like the whole like 40-minute intro to this shitty story.
I was gonna say, and those had stories back then.
Yeah,
like, they had like legit things going on.
Yeah, it would be like you had to have like a fucking character list and a fucking script. It was horrific. Even as a kid, you're like, "I know that's not a mechanic." I've never seen a nurse dressed like that.
I've never seen a nurse dressed like that before.
And then there'd be 2 movies, 2 of the channels that would start, but they were always like the weird fucking channels.
I never had those, but I remember like
with everything.
I remember the HBOs after a certain time would get raunchy, and they had some weird stuff. Like they weren't always.
They had that like real sex or whatever.
Yes,
that was weird, dude.
That was weird.
I remember watching that when I was a kid because that started coming out when we were like early teens. Like,
yeah,
maybe even like preteen.
Yeah.
And you'd watch it, and it would be like they would have a special. It's like, oh, people that like putting hooks through their backs. And you're like, what the fuck?
I remember being fucked up from that because like I remember people talking about like. We're about to get real here, folks. I remember people talking about, like, putting their fists in women's vaginas and just being like, is that what sex is? That can't be right.
It was not things that children should have been watching.
No, we should not have been watching that.
But they would have, and it would always be the same thing. The people that they would get to agree to the interviews were always those people who would always want to talk about sex, but they're the last person you want to always talk about sex. It would be like this old lady who was not attractive, and she'd be like, "Yeah, it's great," and you're like, "Please stop talking. I don't want to."
Meanwhile, we have the ability to turn it off
coming out of your mouth.
But that was all we had.
Yeah, it was all we had. It's either that or you had to watch reruns of I Love Lucy or The Munsters at night.
All right, so think about this, getting away from the raunchy shit for a second. We're going to get to a point in our lives, and we're slowly getting there, but one day we will, where we're going to look at like our kids or our grandkids and stuff or something and be like, back in my day, we had to wait a week for these TV shows to come out.
Yeah.
And if you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah.
Because like we have all these Netflix and stuff now, like
binge watching is
they just release seasons.
Yeah.
Remember like watching a cartoon as a kid and you would have to wait a full week to watch 30 minutes and adding in commercials. That means you waited a week to watch 20 minutes of a TV show.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's all you got. And if you missed it, you missed it. There were no reruns like there are now.
I forgot a big one.
What?
The internet.
Oh, the evolution of the internet.
Dial up. Remember everyone having to get 2 phone lines when the internet came out?
I remember that.
Because someone would answer the phone thinking it was ringing, and then you get booted off the internet. And after your Yahoo page, when you were looking up, what's the cheat codes to Doom 2, I still remember all of them from heart. But
I believe you.
The internet was the Wild West for a long time, and it was at the worst time to be the Wild West.
Yeah.
Because I remember there was one website that ruined the innocence of a lot of people our age.
Meatspin?
What?
Continue.
What did you say?
Meatspin.
No, what is that?
It was just a GIF on loop.
No. I'm talking about a website.
Well, it was a website, but all it was one GIF on loop.
No. This was rotten.com.
Oh.
Do you know what rotten.com was?
I never went there.
Good. That's probably why your brain is normal. Rotten.com, and I'm talking like, I want to say like 12, 13 maybe even a little younger, maybe like 11, 12.
I think I have gone there, but finish what you're going to say first.
You go on there you're just surfing the web at night. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Yeah. Porn is like out of the question because you click on a porn link if you could even find one or knew what to type in at that age, and it would just your screen would just get peppered with just pop-ups. Yeah, pop-ups are a thing that no kid today will ever be able to understand.
No,
how horrific.
Not to the length.
Trying to exit out of fucking porn pop-ups when your mom's walking in the room, and you're like, I'm literally just trying to look up Crash Bandicoot shit, and like it's just the loudest shit that you can think of. But anyway, rotten.com, you'd go on there, and you'd be like, click on the first link. Oh. Someone tried to blow their face off with a shotgun.
Yeah, so I do remember this website. I never knew what the name of it was, but I remember being traumatized at a sleepover. I mean, I was like 13 at the time. We were still calling it sleepovers.
I thought you meant that there was a sleepover on the website.
No. I remember it was me and a bunch of guys, and they were just watching videos of like people dying left and right. Like we were watching videos of like a guy got cut in half by a motorcycle, another guy, his parachute didn't go off, and it was first person. He obviously died, and like it was just like one after the other, and after like the 5th one, I was like I gotta walk away.
Yeah,
like it like got bad, and this was before like everything digital was in your face, so like you didn't see people die.
No kid should be looking at that.
No,
just
even at like 13, I was not ready for that.
My brother's 4 years older than I am, so they were like. 4 years when you're a kid is a long time.
That's the difference between being a 6th grader and a 10th grader.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's a difference between being an adult and being a child.
Yeah, it is. That's
fair. Looking at that kind of shit is definitely not okay. It's not okay. It's bad. Like everyone my age that I'm like, remember rotten.com? Nobody's like, yeah. They're always like, yeah. Yeah.
Everyone agrees.
There was always something on that website that irked someone deep to their core.
So I'm going to end this on one last note because I don't want this one over.
No, we're not going to rant. I'm done. I'm all petered out.
I think we talked about this once before. Do you remember what prompted the creation of YouTube? Arguably one of the biggest video website. But
yeah, the guy couldn't find something.
Yeah, he couldn't. It happened after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he couldn't find the video of Janet Jackson's titty.
Yeah, the nip slip, the infamous nip slip.
Yeah.
He wanted to look for it, couldn't find it, and said, you know what? I'm going to make a video database. And that is how YouTube started.
Do you
Literally.
know? Do you know how amazing a moment like that was before YouTube, when you would see something like that live, and you'd be like, someone would be like, "Dude, did you see Janet Jackson's nipple?" And they're like, "No," and you're like, "Guess you never will."
Yeah.
Because they're
was
never
done.
gonna show it uncensored
Nope.
again.
Never again.
You better have somebody that you know that liked that Super Bowl game and recorded it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was back then.
That's what it was.
You had to.
Nowadays, people are like, "Up, another celebrity had their phone hacked, and all their
Yeah.
naked pictures are out there."
But you had to rely on the stories of others to believe that it happened.
Oh
live.
yeah.
Reruns that were like, whoa, we get reruns. I mean, we were always around for reruns, but reruns of live TV shows or
That didn't
live
happen.
events, it didn't happen.
And
You
if
got
they
to buy
did,
it.
if they did, they were edited heavily.
Yes.
All the fun shit got taken out.
Yeah, yeah.
The-
Janet Jackson's nipple, for a brief moment, it was solely for those who watched it live.
Yeah.
It was the last good time
That
in
was
America.
that was like the changing of the tides. You
It
know
was
what
a
I mean?
magical
Like,
moment.
It was a magical moment.
Yeah.
That's when life started getting different.
Because even in the moment, you were like, did I just see what I think I saw?
I just saw Janet Jackson.
Let me go back. Oh, wait. I can't. It doesn't exist yet.
Remember TiVo?
Yes.
That was the change.
TiVo died around the time Tropic Thunder came out. Yeah.
TiVo,
I don't remember what it was. I didn't have it.
it just recorded TV, so you could rewind it. That's all it did. You could record shows, and you could
Like a DVR.
Yeah, it was the very first
DVR before
DVR.
DVR, yeah.
And now like DVRs are like built into all the cable boxes and everything, so it's long
Does
since
anyone
done.
watch TV anymore?
Not I don't have cable. I mean, I'll watch like Netflix and stuff.
But
And
that's not TV.
yeah, but that does prompt a good question. How do you find new shit?
What do you mean?
Like new TV shows and stuff like that. Like,
What about fucking music, dude? You remember when you used to have to buy the whole fucking album?
oh my god,
You have to go to Sam Goody.
that was a trip
Yeah.
and an expensive trip.
Expensive trip. I remember the last CD that I think I bought was Ozzy Osbourne's new CD when he came out with it. I remember one of the other ones that I bought, because you used to fucking get the little pamphlet. You used to go through the pamphlet. You used to read all the lyrics. And
Yep.
you're like, oh, I fucking got these lyrics now. Because you couldn't look up lyrics before online. And you had to listen to every fucking song because you paid for the whole fucking CD. And nowadays, you can just buy like a song at a time. That changed the whole fucking game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that changed everything when you were
Napster.
Napster.
Napster changed it.
Oh my god, Napster was
Kazaa or Kazaa.
LimeWire. I used to use LimeWire.
LimeWire didn't have that. I had Kazaa or Kazaa, whatever it was called. You'd have to download 10 songs at a time of the same song because
Just
they'd have the song like 30 seconds in. It would just be like that static sound that someone would just put it on there to be a douche.
Or there would be like an angry woman yelling at you. You ever
Yeah.
get that one?
Or be like, piracy is illegal. Like 10 seconds into the song.
Be like, motherfucker, are you serious?
Yeah.
I just spent and like downloading songs back then.
And then they came out with reviews on the downloads. It would have a star review. That way you could avoid the shitty ones. That's how I started listening. What year was that?
That was early 2000s too, because I remember being in high school.
Because that's when I got. Oh. It was before high school. Kazaa was before high school.
I think LimeWire was during high school.
Okay. Because I remember that's how I got into NWA. Because I downloaded a bunch of their songs off there because they just came up like when I was looking for other stuff. And I have a bunch of them on my old iPod.
That's how I learned about the song Fulton Street. I'll never remember the name of the artist, but you ever just type in Andrew Smith? That's not.
It's not special.
That's not. But you would probably find something. We typed in Fulton, and there was a song Fulton Street. They've been living on the street, going down to Fulton. It was a terrible song. All right, well that about sums it up.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let us know what you think about all the things we talked about.
Take us out, Tim.
Go to brodownpro.com. Bye, everybody.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all